The week kicks off with an absolute nightmare scenario that has been brewing in the shadows for weeks. Will Haley Hamilton finally get the chance to dance on her husband's grave? It certainly looks that way, as Bill Hamilton is suddenly rushed to the emergency room in critical condition. As we all know, Haley has been meticulously and ruthlessly poisoning Bill, slipping her lethal serum into his drinks while masking her sinister intentions behind a facade of wifely devotion. The slow burn toxicity has finally taken its toll, causing Bill to collapse completely. As the paramedics wheel him into the sterile, chaotic halls of Garland Memorial Hospital, one has to wonder what is going through Haley's twisted mind. Is she crying genuine tears for the cameras, or is she secretly calculating how fast she can cash in that massive life insurance policy? The tension is suffocating, and the stakes have never been higher. But Haley's not the only one feeling the heat. As Bill fights for his life on a ventilator, his current wife is growing incredibly impatient. The hospital staff is running tests, and the looming threat of a toxicology screen has Haley backed into a terrifying corner. If the doctors find the poison in Bill's system, her entire murderous scheme will implode. This is exactly why Haley and her sleazy cousin Randy Parker are forced to team up and accelerate their dark agenda. The walls are closing in on them, and they need to speed up their plan before the authorities start asking questions. Will Randy sneak into the hospital to finish the job, or does Haley have another deadly trick up her designer's sleeve? Meanwhile, the fallout from Bill's collapse sends massive shockwaves through the Dupree family, specifically hitting Danny Dupree like a ton of bricks. Danny and her husband, Andre Richardson, are already standing on incredibly shaky ground following a massive recent clash. Andre, bless his supportive heart, has been bending over backward to help Danny, mistakenly believing that her recent erratic behavior and panic attacks are symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder from the devastating tornado. He has no idea that his wife is actually drowning in the toxic, agonizing guilt of having a steamy secret hookup with Bill in that stalled elevator. Danny is being eaten alive by her betrayal, and Andre's unwavering devotion is only making her feel worse. They are going to have to put in a monumental amount of work if they want to repair their fractured relationship. But can a marriage truly survive when it is built on such a colossal lie? The pressure on Danny reaches a boiling point when a mysterious phone call sends her running out the door to meet someone. Who on earth is on the other end of that line? Could it be a blackmailer who somehow knows about her elevator rendezvous with Bill? Or perhaps it is someone from the hospital calling to tell her that Bill might not make it through the night? Whatever the case, Danny is spiraling out of control. When she desperately needs a shoulder to lean on, Pamela steps up to the plate, offering Danny the emotional strength and encouragement she so desperately needs. But even Pamela's support might not be enough to shield Danny from the impending explosion. The tension finally shatters when the women in Bill's life engage in a brutal, no-holds-barred confrontation. Danny, fueled by a messy cocktail of guilt, grief, and unresolved feelings, completely rips into Haley. The ex-wife and the current wife are about to tear each other apart in the hospital corridors. Danny knows that Haley is a manipulative gold digger, but does she suspect that Haley is actually the one responsible for putting Bill in a hospital bed? The venom flying between these two women will leave viewers absolutely speechless. Across town, the younger generation of Fairmont Crest is dealing with their own chaotic fallout. Catherine "Cat" Richardson is exhibiting increasingly erratic behavior that has her entire family deeply concerned. Ever since she donated her liver to save Eva Thomas, Cat has been making wild, impulsive life choices. The most baffling of all is her sudden purchase of a luxury condo. Her mother, Nicole Dupree, is watching this unfold with sharp maternal intuition and severe anxiety. Nicole is terrified that her daughter is making this massive real estate decision for all the wrong reasons. Does Kat actually want independence, or is she just suffocating under the guilt of publicly rejecting Tomas Navarro's grand marriage proposal? Tomas, nursing a severely bruised ego, has firmly refused to be a kept man in Kat's new luxury condo. His traditional values are clashing hard with Kat's frantic need for control, leading to a fragile and tense compromise. Haley somehow manages to do something that drives a massive wedge between Tomas and Naomi Hawthorne, creating even more division in their social circle. What kind of manipulative lie does Haley spin to turn these friends against each other? Ted Richardson is left completely and utterly baffled by Kat's latest moves. He almost lost his daughter on the operating table, and now he is watching her spiral into a chaotic mess of bad real estate and broken romance. Adding fuel to the fire, Chelsea Hamilton approaches Kat with a brand new pitch. Whether it is about their living situation or the future of the Chelsea Cat brand, Kat absolutely hates the idea. The cousins and business partners are known for their fierce loyalty, but this disagreement threatens to tear them apart. However, Chelsea is not standing alone. She, Naomi, and Dr. Madison Montgomery prove that they are a united, unbreakable front. These three women are leaning on each other through the madness, proving that sisterhood might be the only thing keeping them sane in this town. Speaking of Naomi, she is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. After agonizing for months, she finally confessed her devastating secret to her husband, Jacob Hawthorne, and her mother, Danny. Testing positive for the BRCA gene has left Naomi terrified for her future, but she is no longer fighting this battle in the dark. Jacob, despite his own severe trauma from the plasma ring sting and the tragic death of Derek Baldwin, steps up as the fiercely supportive husband Naomi needs. He accompanies her to a highly emotional medical appointment with Dr. Monica McCormick, the new chief of staff at Garland Memorial. Facing the reality of a potential double mastectomy is terrifying, but Naomi bravely decides that it is time to expand her circle of trust and tell a few more people what she is going through. In the darker corners of Fairmont Crest, the criminal underworld is bleeding into family dynamics. Joey Armstrong, the ruthless casino owner, is suddenly spooked out of his mind. Why? Because the chilling words of Doug McBride seem to be echoing from beyond the grave. Is Doug actually alive and pulling the strings from the shadows, or is this all part of Deanna McBride's sinister, evil plan to drive a wedge between her mother, Vanessa, and the casino boss? Deanna has made it abundantly clear that she despises Joey, and using her dead father's memory to psychologically torture him is exactly the kind of dark manipulation she is capable of. This psychological warfare culminates in what can only be described as the dinner party from hell. Joey, Vanessa, and Deanna sit down to share a meal, and the atmosphere is so thick with tension you could cut it with a knife. It is going to be incredibly awkward, filled with passive-aggressive jabs, glaring stares, and unspoken threats. Vanessa is desperately trying to hold her fractured family together, but she is completely blind to the fact that Joey has secretly tasked his henchman Randy with keeping Deanna in check. If Deanna pushes Joey too far, she has no idea what kind of danger she is bringing down upon herself. Amidst all the deception and manipulation, there's a quiet, poignant moment of reflection for Martin Richardson and Bradley Smitty Smith. The couple takes a step back from the political chaos and the family medical emergencies to reminisce about a particularly rocky patch in their own marriage. It is a beautiful, grounding moment that reminds viewers that even the strongest relationships in Fairmont Crest have had to weather terrible storms. Their enduring love serves as a stark contrast to the shattered romances crumbling around them. But peace never lasts long in this town. Leslie Thomas, who promised God she would change her villainous ways if her daughter survived the liver transplant, has been on her best behavior lately. However, old habits die hard. Her newfound goodness does not stop her from aggressively clashing with Ted Richardson after she rudely interrupts his private tender time with a recovering Eva. Leslie still believes she knows what is best for everyone, and her overbearing nature is bound to push Ted to his absolute limit. In a surprising twist, Kat shares a rare, vulnerable moment that completely stuns one of her siblings. Could she finally be offering a genuine olive branch to Eva? After saving Eva's life and experiencing that profound out-of-body dream, Kat might finally be ready to put their bitter, toxic rivalry to rest. Or is she dropping a bombshell on Martin that will leave him speechless? Finally, the week ends on a massive, heart-stopping cliffhanger. Shanice Johnson, who recently committed to a steamy romance with Ted following the tragic loss of her best friend, is in for the shock of her life. The spoilers warn that Shanice had better hold on to something tight because Ted is about to make a massive, earth-shattering confession. What on earth is he hiding? Does it have to do with his lingering feelings for his ex-wife, Nicole? Or is there a darker secret buried in the Richardson family closet? We will have to tune in to find out.